Kia ora koutou, everybody. So I think I've taught a lot of you guys before, but if I haven't, my name is Nicole and I'm a Senior Teaching Fellow in the Department of Biochemistry. So when asked exactly what it is that my role entails, I decided I would just steal the job description off the university website. So I just went to the university website and it says that this is what my job is supposed to be, and it sounds pretty accurate. So I design and deliver high quality teaching informed by research and contribute to teaching and training, reinforce and promote interdependence between teaching and research, lots of management and leadership roles within the department, course advising, course coordination, pastoral care of students, etc. So I think that kind of sums up with lots of technical words what I do. If you are more interested in lots of details about what a teaching fellow does, you can go to the full job description at the university website. This one is specific to the senior teaching fellow role, but they have the just other teaching fellow roles in there as well. So a little bit more, what did I have next? How did I get to where I am? My head's cut off there, that's quite nice, isn't it? There we go. There's trying to make my slides less boring with a few random pictures. How did I get here? So my education background is in biochemistry. So I did an honours degree in biochemistry and finished that in 2012. So this was still when an honours degree was a 4-year program, not the kind of 3 years and then 1 additional year that you have now. So technically, if I was doing it now, my undergraduate would be a double major in biochemistry and neuroscience. I would meet all of those requirements. But back then, when you then would have had to do 2 separate 400 level projects, I stuck with biochemistry. But I still continued quite neuroscience focused research. So very similar to what we're doing down the front here. So I was looking at a childhood neurodegenerative disease in both my honours and in my PhD. So continued my PhD in the biochemistry department and finished that in 2015. So a little bit about work experience on how I got here as well. So during my PhD, I did a lot of lab demonstrating, so in biochemistry papers, 100, 200 and 300 level papers, cells as well, a lot of tutoring all over the place, so Bioc 192, cells, Pacific Opportunities Program, Maori Centre, halls, lots of teaching based stuff. So you can kind of already see where my interests were being focused during my PhD. So I think an important piece of insight to give you, and I think most of our presenters might agree, when you're doing your undergraduate degrees, you're kind of like, okay, I think I know where I want to go. Then you do postgrad and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea where this is going. Let's just roll with this. So when I started my PhD, I thought that I wanted to kind of stay in research and go the kind of more research academic route. But I very quickly realised that I liked teaching way more than I liked research. So I kept doing the PhD because I still enjoyed it, but teaching was what I really liked to do. So then after I finished my PhD, while I was waiting for that to be examined and accepted and everything, I continued on with the work I was doing in the lab, but also just continued on with teaching as well. So it was about 50-50, working in the lab still and then doing lots of demonstrating and tutoring all over the place. And then I just saw a job pop up for a Department of Physiology fixed term teaching fellow, which I have no background in physiology, but I thought, why not? Let's just chuck that in, and I got the job. So lots of imposter syndrome kind of goes on in science. So I got a Department of Physiology teaching fellow role, but that was actually really cool because it just meant I got to learn lots more stuff. So I did that and then was offered a role as a teaching fellow in biochemistry. Again, that was fixed term. And then I had a break to have my first baby. And then cells offered me a job as a teaching fellow. and then I got offered another job in biochemistry. So I think what I wanted to get at here is if you are interested in a teaching-based role, particularly in tertiary education, I feel like you bounce around quite a lot, and perhaps the other teaching fellows we have here, they might not have a similar path, but they might have something similar where they've kind of bounced around before landing on that permanent position. So what do I actually do each day? So I have a really big mixture of things I do, a mixture of teaching, obviously, generating learning materials and assessments, lots of student care, and lots of course coordination as well. So on the picture I've got down here, I have just some outreach. So we get to do lots of outreach as well. So we get to actually go out into the community and teach others about science too. So this is some outreach with some primary school children, teaching them how to extract DNA from bananas. So those kind of outreach activities are really important in our job as well, and they're also a lot of fun because we get to switch up from who we're teaching, people who are quite specialist in what they're learning, to people who have absolutely no idea what's going on, and you're teaching them about DNA and bananas. So it's a lot of fun. So like I said, I do a lot of course coordination as well. So I am the paper coordinator for Bioc 192 in second semester, which is a huge job, but then also mid-lab science paper in the first semester, as well as a second year med module in the first semester as well. So I hope you can get from that it's really varied in what we get to teach. We're not just teaching one narrow range of material, we're teaching really, really broadly. So from first year health science biochemistry, through to medical laboratory science, through to medicine. I also teach into metabolism to third year medicine, molecular biology at 200 level biochemistry. So we get to teach lots of different things, which means we get to continuously learn ourselves as well, which I do find quite exciting. So how do you get a job like this? You need to take up lots of teaching opportunities while you're still studying, and also do a good job of it. So we heard just before from our careers advisor that you need to kind of get your foot in the door, and that's kind of exactly what all of that teaching does when you are doing your postgraduate study, for example. You are going along and demonstrating labs, and you're doing a really good job of it, and people are taking notice of it. You don't realize people are taking notice of that until after you finish studying, and then these people pop up and say, hey, do you want a job? You're like, what? Okay. So you kind of just need to take up lots of teaching opportunities as you can. And I think we also saw just before as well that a lot of jobs aren't advertised, they're directly offered, and that's what you often get with those kind of lower level teaching fellow positions that are fixed term. They don't often, well, they'll come up on Seek, for example, but often they may already be filled, so that's often by course coordinators, other senior teaching fellows going directly to people that we've seen doing a really good job with our students and offering them a job directly. And so what do employers look for? So obviously a relevant postgraduate qualification, lots of teaching experience, and also lots of patience. While this job is very fun and very rewarding, you do also need to be kind of patient at times, particularly if you're teaching health science first year students. They can be a lot, very persistent. What do I enjoy about my job? So I enjoy pretty much all of it. I really like all the continued learning and development I get to do. It's busy, and I like being busy. I like being really busy and on the go, so I think that suits me quite well. It's often stressful, but at the end of the day, it's overall really rewarding and really different each day. I also like I have a young family, and it's flexible. So I really like that I don't have set hours of I have to be here from this time till this time. I just need to get all my work done, and it's nice and flexible. So usually I can still pick up my children from school and preschool. They also, as you can see here, do like then coming to work with me and raiding my snack drawer and ruining my admin's assistant's desk. But I do like that flexibility as well. All right, thank you.